So the engine ran remarkably well, even on 50 psi. You just needed to squirt a little starting fluid down there to get the thing going. But once it ran pretty well. But that's not really functional to do that. So I figured I'd pull the thing apart, take a look and see what I'm dealing with. I did shoot some oil, a couple squirts of oil down the cylinder, and it didn't raise the compression at all, really. About 5 or 6 pounds. So if it was a bigger increase in compression, I'd be more thinking it was the rings and not the valves. So let's see. See if you guys can see this. I'm almost half tempted to put my other engine on here. I've got another 5 horse, a more modern one. I need to build an exhaust for it. But it looks like the exhaust valve. Look at the seat. Let me see. Let me go macro. This valve seat right here is crusty. Nothing I can't lap though. That's the intake. See if I get you zoomed in. There's the intake valve, which it's more likely to be nice and easy and smooth because it runs a pretty easy life compared to the exhaust valve, which is pretty funky, which is I think is where I'm getting my loss of compression. 55 pounds. The thing won't start unless I throw starting fluid down there, and that's not practical. And then let's see if I can zoom this in without screwing it up. I can't even tell if you guys can see that. Anyway, this is really funky dirty. So I'm going to run these through the wire wheel. I'm going to get some lapping compound. I'm going to drop these bad boys in there and see if I can lap them right here in the engine. Clean it out, put it back together, see what happens. 1971, there's no ridge here, just a little funk. But the cylinder walls feel pretty good. The cylinder doesn't, or the piston doesn't move around. And it never burned oil, never ate oil, it never smoked. So I'm thinking that the rings are pretty good. Look, it doesn't even move. Standard bore. I could get a master rebuild kit for this on one of those auction-based websites, but I'm going to try to do the valve deal. Try to lap them real quick. Let me get some polishing compound. I'll be right back. So it's not that big a deal. I just got in there with a Scotch-Brite pad and I cleaned off the smooth surfaces and hit it with the wire wheel just to get the bulk of the crusties off. And then I have 2 different grades of lapping compound, a fine and a coarse. So I started out with a coarse, of course, and then I went to fine. I did the intake first, then the exhaust. And let's see. Anyway, clean the valves up, the seats. The exhaust valve actually cleaned up real nice. The valve seat's a little pitted. So I don't know, I've given it extra special lapping attention. So we'll see what happens. I do have a seat driver. If these have to be replaced, I don't know. Find out. So let's put this thing back together. Let's pull the cord. I'm gonna do this a little bit longer, but let's put it back together. Pull the cord. See what kind of compression we get. I don't know how well you can see that. Really, Newman? You hear that? Dude, you had to pee right by me. Now you're gonna get pee on my air hose. Hold on. Back. Where was I? This is the seat for the intake valve. It's beautiful. Seat for the exhaust valve. You can see right there. There's a little pitting. There's a little pitting right there. I don't know if that'll come through. The rest of the seat looks okay, and this pit doesn't go all the way through to the inner lip. So I'll put it together. We'll see what it does. It's better than it was. It's not perfect. That concerns me, but we'll see what happens. It's funny, I'm usually pretty optimistic on my small engine repair because I usually have pretty good luck with getting it done. But watching this video now, I see how hammered that exhaust valve seat is, and there's no way this thing's going to run with any ferocity with that seat in there. But when I was putting it together, I felt pretty good for some reason, maybe because the birds were singing and the sun was out, and I don't know. It was a holiday weekend, man. I felt like I could do it. I can do it! But alas, I couldn't. Failed. 50 pounds.